Hi there. Now, I normally never, ever contribute to YouTube bullshit or drama. I just, personally, it's not the type of content I like to make. By the time I hear about an issue, a couple hundred other prominent YouTubers have probably already talked about it, and therefore all I'm doing is just repeating what everybody else already said, and it's just done to death. And I would like my channel to hopefully be content that is original and not something that you could necessarily see everywhere else. How the fuck ever, something has happened, as you can tell by the title and everything, that I felt directly flew in to the radar of shit that I care deeply about, and I could not say nothing. For those of you who might be new, I have a long history with mental health and suffering from depression. I'm pretty open about talking about it on my channel to an extent, and I have had suicide attempts in the past, and it's something that I sometimes do talk about for the benefit of hopefully helping other people who might watch my videos and pull something positive out of it. I'm also somebody who is very enthusiastic about death positivity and good coping skills for death, and for talking about death and dying and being open and caring about it and just basically not being afraid of it. This is weirdly ironic, but quite literally the video that I was supposed to upload instead of this one was a video all about death positivity. It's filmed and everything, but this shit happened that I had to address. So look forward to next week for that video. But that was just a weird piece of irony. And this whole situation's got me fucked up. Just the tiniest recap for anyone who could have possibly been on YouTube and not heard about this already. There's this ex-Viner named Logan Paul. Now see, here's the thing though, from my point of view personally, I know there's Logan Paul and there's Jake Paul, but the thing is that they look like clones of each other. So I never know who's who, or do they do different things? Do they do the same thing? I have no idea. Why? Because they're shit, their content is shit, and I don't watch it. What is a 26-year-old educated goddamn grown-ass woman gonna do watching videos of like stupid staged pranks and just them acting like assholes? Now, I knew that the basic premise of the YouTube videos with these guys were they go somewhere, they act like assholes, they film it, it's funny. So, like, you've seen them all, you've seen them all. But this is some new level of bullshit. Alright, and I kind of want to tell this story in the order that the events happened, and I actually didn't know about this first part when I first heard this story about what happened. Only after doing a little more research into it and watching some other YouTubers did I truly realize just the extent of the cockbuggery that went on. So apparently Logan Paul went on like a trip to Japan and was vlogging about it. Okay, that's fine. He apparently spent like days acting like God's best asshole to the people of Japan. Like, okay, I have seen some offensive fucking bullshit by white American boys who think there are no consequences. But this is like the Mona Lisa of douchebaggery. I'm gonna link this video in the description by the Japanese man Yuta is the name of his channel, and he physically ripped the footage and showed, because I don't want to give Logan Paul any views, so watch it through this guy. He shows this fucknut dressed as something that I think, like a caricature that I think World War II comic artists would say was racist. Like, it's a whole new level, and he is, like, in these temples acting like some kind of, like, I can't even begin. But basically, to summarize, he's acting like a horse's ass in Japan. It's Paul Takes Japan. It's just these white boys being the most. Oh my god. So while Logan and his friends are on this yeast infection through Japan, he decides, you know what would be a good place to film? Akigahara, the suicide forest. You know, the place where maybe about 100 people a year commit suicide and is one of the most popular suicide places in the world. For those of you who have never heard this forest before, no one really knows why all these people go there to commit suicide, but it's rather remote, and the forest is like so green and dense that you can't easily see through the trees that well, so that's kind of one of the reasons why people, you know, kind of go there to end their life, because they're not easily found. And one of the first things that you are told when you go there, like, if I'm not mistaken, there are signs and shit, or people tell you, they have these taped paths, and they say, yo, don't go off the paths, because people keep killing themselves here, and there's a 1 in 3 chance, apparently, I read somewhere, there's a 1 in 3 chance that you might stumble upon a dead body. So, naturally, with all their just brilliance and forward thinking, the Logan Paul gang decides, you know what, why don't we just go to this forest that's a landmark to the somberness of death, and why don't we go off the marked paths and see what we can do? Apparently they said they were gonna go to find ghosts, but like I said, they tell you that, like, you're told, if you even look up the place for a second, they tell you, like, hey, stay on the path, there's a pretty good likelihood that it might be corpse o'clock if you go in there. Like, you were warned. So, naturally, they did it anyway. And what do you know, in a forest that's famous for dead bodies, they found a dead body. So when faced with mortality and the reminder of death and its permanence, Logan Paul, in his infinite wisdom, filmed him and his friends, like, laughing and absorbing it and just being like, oh my god, a dead body, man, this is legit. And then filming the body, like, up close. And apparently, I didn't watch the video because I didn't hear about it till after it was already, like, down and crap. And also, like I said, I'm not gonna give that motherfucker a view at all. But apparently he was, like, focusing in on, like, the corpse's, like, purple fingers and just looking up close at it. And he also used the image of the corpse hanging there with him making a shocky face in the thumbnail of that video. And he was sure to tack on some kind of half-assed message about how suicide is not a joke right before he told everyone to like and subscribe. So, I have many, many problems with this. So many problems. I don't even know how to list them in order. So, bear with me here. As someone who has attempted suicide, and as someone who has suffered from depression pretty much a good half of my life, and as someone who also lost friends to suicide, the first thing I thought of when I heard about this is I thought of that poor guy. who went into the forest, probably feeling like this was his only option and that there was no other way to fix whatever problems that he had. And he may have even, I'm not sure at this point, but he may have even had some kind of mental illness that could have convinced him that there were no options when really medication and therapy could have helped him. And he goes out there and now I'm only going off of my personal experience here, but the times that I've attempted suicide, I almost always committed the suicide as far away from my home as possible, because the idea of my mother being the one to find my dead body and to see me like that really fucking upset me. And doing it somewhere far from home somehow made it like an easier compromise of my family is not going to have that moment where they find me. If they do have to see me for corpse identification, it would be on like a slab after I got cleaned up or something. And fuck, wait. I'm not crying over a Logan Paul video. That is not fucking happening. So I'm just imagining this guy going out into this forest and thinking, you know what? Everything's been so dark, but I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be over and it's gonna be at peace and I'm gonna be able to let all this go because I'm just gonna be gone. And he does do it. And then some goddamn fuckboy comes out of nowhere and films him and his purple deoxygenated fingers and puts that kind of shit all over the internet. The second thing I thought of was of all the friends that I've lost because of suicide. I'm someone who's been in like therapy and intensive outpatients, and when you're as sick as I am, you tend to meet a lot of other people who are also very sick. And unfortunately that means a good portion of us don't fucking make it. And I'm imagining that just one day, maybe even in this scenario, I like this guy's videos. I'm just imagining that I fucking click on a video of a YouTuber that maybe I even like, and there's my friend. There's someone I liked or even loved just becoming a sideshow attraction for some rich American asshole. No, we're not doing this. We're not crying today. We're not doing this. You will get none of my tears, Logan Paul. None of them. So as you can see, I took this very personally in the realm of showcasing a suicide like that, but I think that this is indicative of just some major issues that have come to a head in this scenario, and I think they need to be addressed. The first thing I think that needs to be addressed is the clear and obvious racism that was exhibited in his videos. Like I said, there were more than one videos of him in Japan treating Japan like his own personal playground, having no respect or understanding for the culture, and just completely being a total ass and just, oh my god. See, I think that this should be a discussion about mental health and about addressing, like, awareness of suicide and stuff like that, but I don't want that message to overshadow oh, hey, by the way, if you treat another country and another culture like it's a fucking game, it might get serious real fucking fast. I definitely don't want the racism or the serious implications of what he did disrespecting multiple sites in Japan, but also one of the most serious sites in Japan. I don't want that to be something that accidentally doesn't get addressed. Like, he really just was a complete and total douche canoe. And there should not be any type of excuse for that. There shouldn't be. And I think that that's something that he also needs to be raked across the coals for, not just the disrespect of a human life. But of course, then there is the disrespect of a human life. I think that it's very disturbing that so many people watched the video and it was up for as long as it was before anything was done about it, and that people were okay with that. People didn't see this young man as a person, and it's just ridiculous. And I think that needs to at least be something to be talked about, is just the fact that it was a human being who was obviously going through a dark, terrible time, and unfortunately, the darkness won. As someone who is also death positive, I really think this should also be a discussion about what places do count as death tourism and what places don't count as death tourism. I'm all for visiting, like, beautiful, famous cemeteries or mausoleums in a respectful manner, and if they're the type of place that you can visit. I also think that places like Auschwitz that are still standing, if you think that's a place to visit, obviously, I'm not saying don't go, I'm saying that you should go and be respectful, and you should go and fully grasp what you're seeing, and I think it's perfectly reasonable to go there. What is not so reasonable is, first of all, purposefully going somewhere that has such a real life serious tone and thinking that it's a joke and that you're gonna find ghosts. Two, to completely disrespect the rules laid out for you of said area, i.e. going off the path to go find ghosts. And also, three, if it is something where you accidentally do encounter a real dead body, you fucking know how to handle it like an adult. Lastly, I think YouTube should try to be responsible when it comes to creators who do this kind of thing with their content, where they go and are completely hateful and disrespectful and do it in the name of views. I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that YouTube needs to be content Nazis and like, oh, you might possibly offend someone, your account's deleted. But I just think it's pretty ridiculous that someone like the Paul brothers are considered family-friendly material and good for advertisers and those kind of things, but a lot of other YouTubers aren't. And we managed to not upload videos of dead bodies. I'm just saying. And I would just like to add, once again, for the sake of death positivity, it isn't the fact that that was a dead body on film. That's not the problem. It's the fact that it was done without the person who owned the body or the family's consent. It was done in a very exploitative way, and it was framed as just this, oh, this exciting thing that happened in Japan, and more of a tourist attraction as opposed to an accidental death discovery. Now, I know that some people are probably gonna fix their fingers in the comment section to type like, oh, he apologized twice, isn't that enough? And I will tell you why it's not. Not only did he exhibit in more than one video that he did not give a shit about Japan, not only did he break the rules of a somber location and go off the path like he wasn't supposed to, but when he did all these things and the worst case scenario happened, you know that saying, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. Well, someone lost an eye, metaphorically. Someone got hurt. Someone was dead. And the worst case scenario happened. He did not decide to turn off the cameras and politely contact the authorities. He filmed it and uploaded it and told people to like and subscribe. I cannot, in any way, shape, or form, feel sorry for him. I can't. And like I said, this is something that was deeply personal to me because I don't mean to say that I felt like I was in this person's shoes, but I have been there. I don't know what this poor boy suffered from, but I have been off the metaphorical edge. And I very much empathize with him. And I saw this fucking blonde asshole turning him into a joke. And not just that, but this guy's got probably like a family, siblings, parents, maybe even kids, who knows. And this is the last thing about his life that will be remembered. Like, cause, you know, he's dead. There can't be anything else. Like, it's not like he can move, it's not like someone you embarrassed and they could just move on from this and go on and do other things. He's dead. He can't. And then they're gonna spend the rest of their lives, the memory of his death is gonna be associated with Logan Paul's stupid ass. I mean, I always hesitate when I say like, oh, YouTube should remove somebody's channel, because I feel like sometimes once you start with one, you'll get other people going, oh no, they should be removed too. But maybe it's because I'm too close to the situation, but I feel like if YouTube continues to profit off of this asshole, it is a decision that they made that this is how they want to be viewed as a company. That as a company, you don't care. You're the ones who keep paying him. And also, as another thing about Logan's apology, I'm gonna link in the description. You should watch Tom Harlock's video of Logan Paul's apology, but with better acting, where he literally memorizes the apology and acts it out, and it's actually really funny. And oh my god. I'm also gonna link 2 other videos that I thought were really amazing. One that I mentioned before from the Japanese guy Yuta, and one from Raina Scully, which has been in the news a lot because apparently Logan's fucking little, I don't know what they call themselves, the fucking little troll army, or what the fuck ever, have been saying racist remarks and shit to her. I'm not surprised and disappointed are 2 different things. And I don't know what else to possibly say. This is fucked. I don't even want to do my outro of liking the video and subscribe because I'm not Logan Paul. I don't want to fucking profit off of a tragedy.